There's always a trade-off when you make a change to something. This can apply to a lot of things. Sorry, I forgot to put my stuff in Do Not Disturb, but anyway, there's always a trade-off when you make changes. This last week I made some changes to Henry's Mojo Dojo Dormitorio bedroom where I swapped a single cubby shelf for a double. So it's like a basically a wooden shelf. We have various ones from this woodworking store that doesn't exist anymore. So down here, I've got so many of them, including some 2-cube shelves that are propping up the desk down here in Henry's Mojo Dojo Officina office. But anyway, I had a single one. I wanted a double one so that I could have a higher up nightstand for my bed and something to more easily prop up my Yogi Bo Max on the back of, that is. So the trade-off for a higher nightstand is that the second unit, it does obscure my vision of the TV when I'm lying down, which actually isn't really a bad thing. It's probably for the better if I decide to do my Apple Fitness Plus meditation through that instead of setting it up on my phone and then walking over to my bed before turning the lights off. So yeah, that's okay. That's probably not the best example because I'm seeing too many pros, not enough cons. Okay, one con that I can name, the back of my head brushes against the thing every now and then, like this. There, that was the trade-off. I traded not having to deal with that for a little more storage space and something more solid to prop the to lean back on my Yogi Bo Max so that I'm not stu so I'm not leaning like too far back or that my spine isn't bending at the curve. So yeah, there's that. There are other trade-offs in life that you're going to have to deal with. For example, sometimes upgrading your electronics can come with a trade-off in terms of what you lose. It's not always a gain, or there's always something you're going to have to do to deal with it. Uh, take my my phone for example. I traded up from the 13 Pro Max to the 16 Pro Max in September. I had to switch to eSIM instead of a physical SIM card, which I'm not completely against because I see the benefit. If something happens to the phone, you can remotely deactivate the SIM feature. Whereas with the SIM card, the physical one, if you if you lose it, you're screwed. Yeah, that's a trade-off. You're trading the ability to just remove a piece of hardware and put in a different piece of hardware, but you're also getting the convenience of not having to risk losing that or being able to remotely deactivate it. Yeah, the day I plan on dropping this video, the Nintendo Switch 2 is supposed to have more of its details revealed, possibly the price, launch date, and launch games. There'll probably be some kind of trade off going from the Switch 1 to the Switch 2, which I plan on getting day one because I was able to work it out. Even if it costs 500 instead of 400, I'll still be able to get that itself. The question is, will I be able to get a game with it? Comment down below if you're looking forward to the Switch 2 as well. Yeah, the trade-off is going to be I'm going to have to switch the rail system of the Joy-Cons on the original for the magnetic version. Obviously, I'm going to have to pay whatever it's going to end up costing. Okay, that's the only trade-off I can really think of. I mean, the cost will be relieved once I trade in the Switch 1 after I make sure that everything's transferred over and the original Switch is factory reset, obviously. Well, whoever I trade in with is going to make sure that it's factory reset. That's a thing they did when I traded in my PS5 and my Series S. Oh yeah, that's another example of there being a trade-off. I got the GameStop store credit for those two systems, but as a result, I couldn't play my PlayStation or Xbox games anymore, which I am at peace with because I was able to focus in on just whatever I can play on the Switch, which reduces the analysis paralysis and also doesn't make me feel like I'm not getting my money's worth when the other two are just sitting there while I'm playing the game that I want to. Or I don't feel like I have to constantly switch between consoles. Like, I might be playing Splatoon 3 on the Switch at one moment and then be like, yeah, I've had enough of this. I want to play some Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PS5 and then Midway Arcade Collection on the Series S. It was a it was a decent arrangement while it lasted, but the trade-off for reducing my options is less analysis paralysis, more focus on one or two games at a time rather than three different games or having to rotate between the different consoles. One ecosystem, one game to focus on, or at least one single player game to focus on, and then a healthy dose of third party options that allow me to avoid going against Iroh's insistence that you have to draw wisdom from many different sources because if you only take it from one place, it will grow rigid and stale. So if I only ever played Nintendo published games on Nintendo hardware, Actually, that might not be such a bad idea because then I could focus in, but then I would have be a lot more limited in my gaming experiences. I would not know the I would not know the joys of Sonic Colors once I get around to actually playing the Switch version that I bought almost about 3 months ago now as when I published this video. I would not know the I would not experience Hogwarts Legacy. I would not know that The Last of Us Season 2 is not going to be that great because I've played the source material, and the source material game part 2 is if you're looking forward to the show, I'm not going to spoil it, but as I told my dental hygienist from last time I was at the dentist, it's kind of a giant middle finger to the original. I'm just going to leave it at that. And I think I'll leave the video at this. There's always a trade off. You're always going to have to accept some kind of change when it comes to. You're going to have to accept different things that'll come up when you make a change. Like when I rearranged the. Like when I changed the shelf cubby out for. When I, tra- when I brought a single one down here and then brought up a double one in the name of a taller nightstand. So I think I'm going to leave it here for the video. Comment down below, how you see that there's always a trade-off and what kind of trade-offs you're willing to make things better for yourself. Give this video a like, subscribe for daily videos, and I'll see you soon.